Let me know if you relate to this. You're overflowing with motivation and you start taking steps to change your life right away. Your motivation is at the peak for a few days and you think nothing can stop you. But here's the twist. After a few days, you don't feel like getting out of bed. You feel exhausted and you say to yourself, "Man, I hate my life." What you're facing is a condition known as a rut. Now Google defines it concisely. A habit or pattern of behavior that has become dull and unproductive but is hard to change. You must be knowing consistency is key to success in anything you do. So how do you maintain this consistency if you're confronted by a rut every single time you take action? So in this video, I'm going to be sharing stuff which would conceivably help you avoid this terrible state. And lastly, I'll be sharing a law or essentially a rule which would help you come out of a rut if you come to grips with one. Let me just take a moment to tell you the difference between a rut and burnout. So essentially, a prolonged rut is a burnout, and burnout is a serious condition and it can have implications on one's health. With that being said, let me just cut to the chase without any further ado. This is a fundamental thing to consider because oftentimes we end up absorbing too much motivation to a fault, and then we tend to overwork ourselves, and the moment all of that extrinsic motivation is gone, we succumb to a rut. As I said before, consistency is the key to succeeding at something. So the point I'm trying to make is, it is better to stick to doing something on a regular basis at a medium pace, despite the fact that you will be making moderate progress, rather than working on something at an undue pace just to give it up altogether in a few days. Now, it is up to you to decide your pace. Just remember not to overwork yourself or push yourself too much. Just keep in mind, small and consistent progress over a long period of time can yield staggering results. Next up, point number 2. People are seemingly delusional to the reality that you need to harmonize fruitful performance with properly allocated breaks for relaxation. The mainstream thinking tells us that in order to do more work, you need to put in more hours. To achieve more, you need to do more. But science proves that this thinking is seriously flawed and that it is a recipe for a visceral feeling of a rut and a lack of inspiration. This point is obviously related to the first point. Taking breaks often for deep and meaningful recovery is necessary so as to preserve your focus and productivity, which is the key to sustainability and consistency with just about anything. Let me give you an analogy. So, just as your muscles require rest and nutrition in order to grow when you work them out, similarly you have to oscillate between cycles of high performance and deep recovery, which is a requisite for exponential performance and consistency in order to succeed in anything you do. And when a muscle is worked out too much without rest and nutrition, it gets exhausted and turns sore. Same is the case with your life as well. So take time to reward yourself with some rejuvenating activity or some hobby. So that was point number 2. Now, there are some days when you are not productive and some days don't go as planned. This can induce self-doubt, which can lower your motivation levels. Due to your brain's negativity bias, this can also lead to a rut. The best way to tackle this is by making a list of small tasks you can complete even when things don't go as planned. This will make you feel good because of the progress you made, and this will secure your confidence and motivation levels. It will make you feel positive. We all know it, something is better than nothing. This practice helps your brain engage itself to the progress you made rather than thinking about the things you couldn't do. And as I said before, small progress made over a long period of time can yield stunning results. So that's all about tips to avoid a rut. And now let's get on to the principle I was talking about in the beginning of the video. And that's the do something principle by Mark Manson. This will help you get out of a rut if you're in one. This principle proves the fact that action isn't just the effect of motivation, but also the cause of it. All this while we've been thinking that only inspiration can give you the motivation to act upon something which you otherwise were apathetic towards. But that is not true. What this principle essentially says is that inspiration, motivation, and action are part of an endless loop. You can go about in any direction. So you can use the do something principle to get out of a rut and potentially get out of that couch. Just do something which requires zero motivation whatsoever, like taking a shower, and leverage that action to create more inspiration, which will put you in that cycle of inspiration, motivation, and action. So, action creates inspiration, inspiration creates motivation, motivation creates further action. That's how you use the do something principle to become the epitome of self-discipline and motivation you once were. Okay, so that's all. Needless to say, the 3 points I discussed before can also be used to get out of a rut as well. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, like, and press that bell icon so that you get notified whenever I put up a new video here on this channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care guys.